Picture this. A farmer in ancient Mesopotamia has 3 goats but desperately needs a wagon wheel. The wheel maker doesn't want goats. He wants grain. The farmer doesn't have grain. This frustrating standoff, repeated millions of times across thousands of years, is exactly why money was invented. And the journey from that moment to the Bitcoin sitting in someone's digital wallet today is one of the wildest stories in human history. Let's go back to the beginning. Before money existed, people relied on what economists call the barter system, a direct trade of goods and services. The problem was something called the double coincidence of wants. You needed to find someone who had exactly what you wanted and who also wanted exactly what you had. It rarely worked out cleanly. So civilization started experimenting. Ancient societies in Mesopotamia and Egypt began using barley and cattle as informal units of value. Then came shells, beads, and salt, which is actually where the word salary comes from, since Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt. But these commodities were inconsistent. A bag of grain could rot. A cow can be split into change. So humans moved to something more durable, metal. Around 600 BC, the Lydians in modern-day Turkey are credited with minting the first official coins, made from a gold and silver alloy called electrum. This was revolutionary because coins had a stamped, guaranteed value, backed by ruling authority. This is the birth of what we now call fiat trust, the idea that money has value because an institution says it does, not because the metal itself is inherently useful. Gold and silver coins dominated global trade for centuries because they were scarce, durable, and universally desired. Then came paper money. The Chinese Tang and Song dynasties pioneered paper currency around the 7th to 11th centuries because carrying around heavy metal coins for large trades was impractical. In the West, banks began issuing promissory notes, basically an IOU that said, "This paper is redeemable for actual gold sitting in our vault." This system, known as the gold standard, became the backbone of major economies, including the United States, for a long time. But the gold standard had limits. Governments couldn't print more money than the actual gold they held in reserve, which restricted economic flexibility, especially during wars and recessions. That changed dramatically in 1971, when President Nixon ended the gold standard completely, ushering in what we now call fiat currency, money that is valued purely because the government declares it legal tender and people trust the system behind it, like the Federal Reserve managing the US dollar. This is the era most of us grew up in. Paychecks, IRS tax brackets, FICO credit scores, for 01k retirement accounts, mortgages. This entire modern financial infrastructure is built on fiat trust and digital banking ledgers, not physical gold sitting in a vault. And then, in 2008, something happened that nobody saw coming. In the middle of a devastating global financial crisis, an anonymous creator using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper introducing Bitcoin, a decentralized digital currency that didn't require banks, governments, or middlemen at all. Instead, it used something called blockchain technology, a public, tamper-proof digital ledger maintained by thousands of computers worldwide, verifying every transaction through cryptography instead of trust in a single institution. For the first time in human history, you could send value directly to another person anywhere on Earth without a bank's permission. This is why so many people call Bitcoin digital gold. It's scarce, since only 21 million coins will ever exist. It's decentralized, meaning no single government can simply print more of it. And it's borderless, functioning the same way in Tokyo as it does in Texas. So when you really step back and look at it, money has always been evolving to solve one core problem: trust between strangers. From goats to gold, from paper plastic, and now from banks to blockchains. The form of money keeps changing, but the function remains exactly the same. And if history has taught us anything, it's that we are far from finished writing this story. The next chapter of money is already being written right now. And the real question isn't whether money will change again. It's whether you'll understand it well enough to be ready when it does. And if you found this journey interesting, if you learned something new today about the history of money, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel because here we bring you fascinating stories about finance, investing, wealth building strategies, AI, technology, and economics that help prepare you for the future. Also, share this video with your friends and family, because the more people understand money, the better financial decisions they can make. And be sure to tell us in the comments, what do you think the future of money will be? Bitcoin, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, or a technology that we haven't even discovered yet? I'd love to read your thoughts. See you in the next video.